Hey, it's your boy Vegeta back with another deck profile. This one is, of course, the new starter Vegeta deck. It's a deck that I've had a lot of fun playing in the last couple of days. Hopefully you like my build. Now, the reason why I like this leader compared to other leaders that are in the same color, such as Trunks Vegeta, Kid Goku, or even like Yellow Sen, is because his engine is extremely small, which means that you have a lot of flexibility as far as the cards you can put around him, since that you only have to run at max 12 cards main deck dedicated to him. What does he do? Like most of these leaders nowadays, he swings, he draws, and then he has two awakening modes. One is that you have 4 or less life. The other is that you have a Yellow Sun Goku with cost 2 or greater in play, in which case you get to untap 1, draw 1, and take life down to 5. On the backside, he swings and draws, and then he has activate main / battle that allows you to switch to rest mode the Trunks that's in his archetype or the Goku that's in his archetype in order to switch one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons to rest mode. Because it's an activate main / battle, you are also able to do it on your opponent's turn, which is a great way to disrupt plays as well. Then he has another activate battle which allows you to add a life to your hand to give him plus 5k for the turn. That's very strong because it helps you to get to super combo range from 5 to 4, and it also helps you to get to your Z leader, which comes up when you get to 3 or less life. Speaking of the Z leader, we're just going to talk about that first, and that is this guy right here, Prince of Destruction Vegeta Emotions Unleash. This guy right here has a very similar activate main as the main / battle here, except for he can't do it during your opponent's turn, but he still has to switch to Goku or the Trunks' archetype to rest mode, in which case he gets to draw a card. So you still get to draw a card once you get to your Z leader. The most important thing about him though is that 1, he doesn't cost any energy, just 2 Z energy to play, so he's super strong. And then he has his activate battle that allows you to add cards from your life to your hand until you have only 1 card left in hand, in life I mean. And he blows up the entire board ignoring barrier, gains 15k and double strike. So he gets to swing in for 35 double, and because you have all those cards in your hand, you'll be able to combo out, do some cool stuff for game. At least that's the concept. So as mentioned, he blows up both sides of the board, but his archetype kind of gets around it. So we're going to look at the Trunks first. The Trunks could come out as early as turn 1, assuming that you're going second, or on turn 1.5 if you're going first. If you have a yellow card go to your Z energy, you could pay yellow to play this guy. When he is switched to rest mode by your leader skill, has the ability to keep himself from being KO'd by your leader skill until the end of your opponent's next turn. And then when he swings, if you have 3 or more energy, he is able to swing for 20 double strike. And it's kind of a going theme. His entire archetype only costs 1 energy, and they are usually fairly sizable guys. So another example of this is the Goku. This is one of the ways you have to awaken. So even though he's unique, I still play him at 4, which kind of goes against some of my deck building rules, but it's very essential to see him. And all other copies you can put into either your Z deck, or your opponent's going to just remove him because he's such a good card that you're going to need other copies. You play him for 1 energy when you have 2 or more energy, and then of course I allow you to awaken, untap 1 and have 2 energy up on turn 2. When you switch on the rest mode with the leader skill, you are able to draw a card, and then he protects himself the same way the Trunks does. Then lastly, at the beginning of your opponent's turn, you are allowed to untap him, and he gains blocker for the turn. So that's why I say your opponent's going to try to remove him anyway, and then you just play another one. Then we get to the quote-unquote boss monster of the archetype, Prince of Destruction Vegeta Destined Battle. This guy is a 15k with Servant, so he's technically 25. You can play him as early as turn 2, and you would draw a card when you play him. And then if you have 3 or more energy and he swings, this guy right here gains double strike, so becomes a 25k double striker. Also, when he swings, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, which costs a 5 or less in rest mode, and KO it. So technically, you would swing with it once, he would just stay there. But that's where the next card in the Z deck comes into play, which is 2 copies of the Goku. Now, I only played 2 copies of him, but he's a very cool card. When he swings, he untaps the Vegeta, and he chooses one of your opponent's battle cards that doesn't have a cost restriction, KOs it, and then he gains plus 10. So he's a 2-cost 25k that then withstands your other 25k. Usually you won't pay him for 2 though, because you will have him underneath your Z leader, and you would just pay 1 to play it. When you play him, you can also Z stack 1. So we do play the Majin Buu. And what's cool about the Majin Buu is that it has dual attack, so again, pressure. But the other thing is that it has the ability to tap opponent's battle cards as an activate battle on either player's turn. So it's another layer of defense as well. And when you play this Buu out for the turn, it can't be KO'd by, it can't be removed from the battle area by skills, period. And it's an auto. It just auto, it happens, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So yeah, this is the main deck archetype. That's all it is. Next up, we have a couple of new cards, well, 3 of them, which is this SS Son Goku and SS Vegeta Ultimate Duel. And they're not lying, it is the Ultimate Duel. So if your opponent has 2 or more energy, which means that technically you can play this on your turn 2 going second, or turn 3 going first. You get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, negate that card's skill, and then KO it. So it gets around some really ugly cards. It doesn't ignore barriers. So if it has barrier, it has barrier. But it gets around things like the yellow Frieza that can't be removed from the battle area due to skills. It gets around like Zamasu that has indestructible, things like that. But again, back to the deck, we have so much room. It allows me to play one of my favorite color combination archetypes. So I'm running 4 copies of Android 13, who could be comboed for free if your leader is yellow. I'm playing 2 copies of Android 18, who can be comboed for free if you have 5 or less cards in your hand. And the payoff is 4 copies of Turles, who has the ability when it is played to draw a card and KO one of your opponent's battle cards with cost 4 or less. And it also can block. It hits a wide range of cards. A lot of times people are not expecting a rival anymore, so you can catch them off guard. And I think it's a really cool combination of cards. There's other reasons why we run it as well, this green-yellow package, but the main reason is this guy right here. Now we're going to go to the utility cards. I wanted to get away from Riposte because at first I thought it was going to get banned, and I didn't want to invest in another set. So it allowed me to try out these meta coolers. You're going to be on Z leader pretty quickly, or even make the Z battle card to be able to awaken. So this guy is live right away. He is a free negate as long as you have a Z leader or a Z battle card in play. And he is a limit 1, so you can only negate one on once that turn. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do properly, that's all you're going to really need. You're just going to wait until they swing with something with multiple strikes and negate, and you're fine. Your opponent is not going to want to go too wide on the board because of this guy's ability. So you're going to have a little bit of leverage as far as that goes. 2 copies of Borgos. This is to deal with stuff that might have deflect, a little bit of size on it that I don't necessarily want to deal with. He taps to 7 or less when he comes into play. He's a counterplay himself. And yeah, great card. Of course, 2 copies of Cooler. It's less good in this deck than it is in others, but it's still very, very strong. If you could get your opponent to commit to like their last energy to try to negate something and you can Cooler it, you're gonna be in a very good position to win the game. Super combos, 3 copies of Krillin, 1 copy of Skill Still Chillai. So this is another green yellow card that could be comboed. That's why I play it, as well as the ability to punish people who attack out of order. And then we have Krillin, who is your generic, good 4 life or less yellow super combo. Then we have a couple of 1-ups. We have 1-up Bergamo. Again, we're able to trigger or activate the leader's ability on your opponent's turn. So if your opponent attacks, you can then tap something out, pay 2, make the Bergamo tap out their energy. That will almost cinch the game. We have all these double strikers. We have a really great end game. So that should be good enough to help you out as far as that goes. 1 copy of Buu. He's sort of like he's like Mirror from the Skies or something like that. You play him for 1. When you have 4 more energy, he's a 30k double striker. And the difference is he gets to stay on the table. We can play them now. 1 copy of Secret ID. Comes up a bunch of times where people have like just random utility on the table. You can play this, get rid of it, swing on them with some pressure, and then it goes away. And then my ultimate. This is new technology or newer technology that came out, so I decided to give it a try. And it worked out in my small sample size of testing. So I'm playing 3 copies of the green yellow cell, who comes out for yellow if you have the arrival. And then if you use your leader ability to go, your Z leader ability to go to 1 life, and you get rid of the cell, you play the Broly Agent of Destruction. You're already at 1 life, so when it swings, it will make your opponent discard their hand. Even if they have some type of negate that freezes it or whatever, you're fine, their hand is gone. Your hand is gone too, but you're a little different than they are because you blew up the board. You're going to probably have like a Goku hanging around or Trunks hanging around. And then you have the ability from underneath your leader to play like a Goku to stack a Boo and then to play a Boo. And then from there you have just bodies, and your opponent doesn't have any bodies and no hand. If they don't have like a strong negate like a Time Magic or a Dirty Burst or something, this guy will basically just win you the game. He's going to swing 40, rip their hand, restand, swing 40, rip their hand. Negates, 3 copy of Token Negate. I wanted a Floodgate, so we got 2 copies of Forbidden Power. And last but not least, 1 copy of the Power of the Super Saiyan. I know it's technically not used as a negate a lot, but it's still a very strong card. And I think it should be put into yellow decks if you have space for it. So that's it for this week's deck profile. As I come across more decks that I want to play, I will play them. Oh, before I forget, last card of the Z deck, Present Destruction Vegeta. I just want to make sure you know that. It just has general utility. You might as well play it. So yeah, catch you again next time. It's your boy VG Time, signing out.